right.
We all know enough adults like that around us.
I certainly know enough adults. I'm done. You're tuned into the GOCast podcast, your one-stop shop for updates, news, tips, and community in the world of Pokemon Go. Thank you for listening.
Pokemon Go's Halloween event part 2, now with more Gengar.
November's content update is looking like it'll be an Aeroblast. And more on this episode of GOCast. Hello and welcome to the GOCast podcast, episode 305. It's October 23rd. It's a Wednesday, even though I just told myself prior to this that it was Thursday. It's not Thursday, it's Wednesday. Oh my gosh. Our timeline is in shambles still. I'm your host.
Continue.
That's right. I'm your host, Chris. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Kyle.
Hiya.
Hey, Kyle, how you doing this week?
I'm doing okay.
All right.
I'm tired. I'm counting down the days right now. So
yeah, counting down the days until what, you can sleep?
No, probably less sleep than normal if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you mean for the meetup?
Yeah, kind of days until I'm off of work. So
there you go. That's right. Yeah, but that you have to get up early to come to my house so that we can drive to the mall together.
That's fine. I'm going to be up at 3:30 tomorrow. I'll have no problem sleeping tomorrow night.
True. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, we have to try to get at least one really good sleep in each before the meetup so we can catch up, because I'm also a sleepy boy, just not for as good of reasons as you have. Anyway, hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to this 305th episode of GOCast. We're going to be talking about several things this week. We've got part 2 for the Halloween event, and November's content update has been published, released. It's around. I don't know how to phrase it. We know what the content's going to be. That's
Posted.
right. Oh, that's right. It is on X only. That makes sense. Yeah, there you go.
Jesus.
Jeez.
Well,
yeah.
In game. So
yeah, I guess that's true.
Right.
But before we get there, we got some goals to talk about, and we had set these goals last week with Yamask Research Day being like minutes after we finished recording. Actually, it was already happening, right?
Yeah, it's already started. We were late.
Yeah, that's right. And so let's start with you, Mr. Kyle. You wanted to catch 6 shiny Yamask, and you had a caveat, although you did not put it in here as like a technical thing for winning or losing your goal. But you wanted to get a good amount of Galarian Yamask, at least half and half, right?
Yeah. My focus was more on the Galarian side, hopefully.
Definitely. Yeah. So how'd that go for you?
I did it. I got 10 shiny Yamask. It was 6 Galarian, 4 regular.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Yeah, it's very exciting. They're all absolutely horrendous. They're all so bad. But yeah.
What about the other non-shiny Yamasks? Did you get any good ones?
Nope. I got a 98%. I got a 15, 14.
If it ain't a hundo, it's trash.
Yeah, but it's better than what I currently had, so I will probably end up maxing it.
Yeah.
I did catch a hundo pink Oricorio.
Nice. Yes, we love it.
Which, for those keeping track at home, pink is not our regional Oricorio.
So where'd you get it from?
I had it in my stack from when I was in New York.
Oh my
And
gosh.
when I was going from Pokestop to Pokestop and didn't have spawns, I was catching my stack to progress my field research. So it has a nice clean 1000 CP, which is fun.
That is very satisfying. That's good brain feel right there. What which Oricorio was that again? What's it called?
Oh, is that Pau?
Is it the Pau one?
They don't tell us in game, so I don't know.
They don't?
No.
Oh, hang on a sec. Pink Oricorio.
It's the psychic flying one.
Pink Oricorio. I love how nobody's listed anywhere.
I know the ghost one is Sensu.
The Pau style.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was right. Cool.
No, you were correct. And I always forget that it's not repeated. It's just one Pau. Okay. Great. Okay, so that's a win. Did you great buddy your Rowlet?
No, I didn't do that.
Oh no, did you forget?
I forgot a little bit, but also I just didn't do enough. Just didn't do enough.
Understood. That's fair enough. 400,000 experience. Did you do enough there?
I did not. That I just kind of overestimated myself for this week and the time that we had since we recorded. So
yeah, that's fair. All right. Well, 1 out of 3 for you. At least the one that you did do was the one that was like arguably the most important, the shiny Yamask.
Yeah, so Unova shiny Yamask is a funny one for me because I think before this I had 4 going into it. It's still something I like to click on. I like the Pokemon. I want another one, and it shows up, and I'm like, oh hey, it's shiny. Yeah. Versus some Pokemon where I'm like, oh, it's shiny. So I don't know, something about Yamask and in Go, I'm just like, yeah, I like more.
Hey, we all have those. I click on every Caterpie I see.
Don't worry about that picture of me getting my buddy heart. So
okay, sure. Why is that sound on? That's crazy.
It's the only sound that's on for the game. I don't know. It tells me I did it correctly.
All right. No, of course not. You would never. No. All right, so for myself, I wanted to catch 6 shiny Yamask as well. It was not looking good for a long time. I had caught 2 by the time that I was done with the research and the ticketed research. I bought that so I could have more chances. It was just one of each. It was 1 Galarian, 1 regular Yamask, and then I did some errands and ran around town a bit and got some more research tasks from stops, and I did end up hitting exactly 6.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
The downside from this is that of those 6, only one of them was Galarian.
One's better than none.
I needed another one, and I've only got the one, so
I'll give you one of mine. It's fine.
We'll have to trade. We got to make sure we do these trades before the meetup, though, because we got some people from out of country coming in with some interesting things to trade.
Also worth noting, I did also buy the $2 research or whatever it was. This is one of those times where I'm like, this was a really good value to me. Like, strictly speaking, not great value, but it was 15 encounters each.
Yeah.
Which is really good because it guarantees you encounters versus the random ones from the stops. So I think I probably got like 110 encounters total.
Nice.
I think that's including the 30 from the research. And
wow.
I only played for just under 2 hours because I had a late start.
Gosh, what happened? Why were you so late?
I
was there. I know. All right. Well, great. Yeah, I agree. I mean, the research days are usually good. Big fan. So that's great. I also got a Hundo Galarian Yamask. I could have used the second shiny, but I'll take the Hundo. That's fine. Perfect. My next goal was to max my Hundo Beedrill, and I did do that. That's great. So now I got to keep up the mega grind to make sure that that's all maxed out and set. And then 50 eggs. I think I got 30 something. I fell short again. I'm telling you, dude, wow. I cannot get enough of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. It is so
Are you
so
playing competitive
good.
Yet?
I have dipped my toe.
No.
I've watched a few videos. I went through all the advanced combat tutorials. It is insane. It's crazy. Do you know anything about it?
I know just a little bit, and I know that if you are playing Gogeta, that we can't talk anymore. So
yeah. No, I don't play Gogeta. Okay, that's
then
fine.
You're fine.
No. I'm a Gohan guy. Pretty much any time, any saga. Yeah. But I know nobody cares about this but me right now, and you're being very nice listening to me about it, Kyle. But the reaction times you need to do it, I've never felt so old in my life. Oh my gosh. I can't it's crazy. It moves so fast. Anyway, good game. You should play it. All right. So 2 out of 3 for me. That means I won, but neither of us were perfect, which is a shame. So I guess we'll just have to nail this news section, huh? Let's get into it. Yo, what up? It's the news. All right, we've got two pieces of news here, as we kind of mentioned at the top of the show. The Halloween 2024 Part 2, and then the November content update. We'll talk about Halloween Part 2 first, which is exciting, hopefully, potentially, for Mr. Kyle in particular here. It's a cool thing. So Part 2 begins on Monday, October 28th at 10 a.m., and it'll run until Sunday, November 3rd at 8 p.m. local time. There's going to be two debuts. Well, kind of. There's technically three debuts, but the way they have it listed, they have two under the debut headline there. Froakie wearing a Pokemon Halloween costume and Rowlet wearing a Pokemon Halloween costume. These costumes look amazing. I'm a big fan of these two new ones, like a big fan. I think even Kyle was like, oh, those are cool. I'll definitely want to get those, which is rare.
I mean, the Rowlet is great. The Froakie is on the like upper middle list of costumes, I would say.
Yeah, it's fine. The Rowlet is top tier.
Yeah,
100%. Yep. For Max battles, here's where the new debut comes in. Gigantamax Gengar will make its Pokemon Go debut in 6-star Max battles from October 31st at 10 a.m. to November 3rd, 2024 at 8 p.m. local time. Good to note that it will not be available once Part 2 begins, but it will be available once Halloween begins at 10 a.m. local time until Part 2 ends. So there you go, Kyle. Your greatest fears and your greatest hopes have all come true at once. How does it feel to be the nexus of expectation?
I'm always right. I'm always right, apparently.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Yep. We can fix that real quick. You want to do a political commentary podcast with me? Let's do it. All right. Event bonuses for Part 2 is 2 times candy for catching Pokemon, increased chance to encounter shiny Zorua in the wild. This, by the way, before we continue, most of this will be very familiar. A lot of it is either exactly the same or slightly different than it was for Part 1. So the shiny Zorua in the wild, increased chance for trainers level 31 and up to receive Candy XL for catching Pokemon successfully with nice throws or better. So pay attention to your throws and you will be rewarded. Increased chance to encounter the following shiny Pokemon in raids. All these Pokemon in this list have costumes. It's Gengar, Umbreon that doesn't have a costume, but the shiny boost is cool. Drifblim, Froakie, and Rowlet. So the new ones will be in there, those two new ones, and they can be shiny, as evident from this. There's going to be an increased chance to hatch the following shiny Pokemon from eggs. Vulpix in a costume, Pichu wearing a witch hat, Froakie, and Rowlet, the new ones with the costumes. And October 31st, costume Pokemon will have a small chance to give rare candy or rare candy XL when caught with nice throws or better. So that's all Pokemon. That's great. Here are the wild encounters for Part 2. Vulpix with a costume, Shuppet, Piplup with a costume, Woobat, Zorua, the new Froakie, Inkay, Phantump, Pumpkaboo wearing a spooky festival costume, the new Rowlet with a costume, and a Pikachu wearing a witch hat. If you're lucky, that one is rare. At least so far as the list says, right? In 7-kilometer eggs, we're getting a 4 Pokemon pool. This is exciting for those of you that are hunters like me for egg pools sometimes. In 7-kilometer eggs during this event that you acquire and then hatch, you can get a Vulpix wearing a spooky festival costume, the Pichu wearing the hat, or the new Froakie or the new Rowlet in their costumes. And remember, those will have a increased chance of hatching. Yeah, the same 4 they mentioned at the top are the same 4 that are in the pool. So there's no duds, which is nice.
But no, the increased shiny chance. They all have an increased shiny chance. You just
they all
have
have
an increased chance of hatching.
Oh, shiny chance. That's what I meant. Yes, thank you. Thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah.
In raids, we're getting a little bit of a shakeup too for 1-star and 3-star raids. 1-star raids will feature Pikachu wearing a witch hat, the new Froakie, and the new Rowlet costumes. 3-star raids will feature Gengar in a costume, Drifblim in a costume, and regular old Umbreon, who is Halloween enough as it is. We love that. And then in case you haven't already begun it, there is the free timed research for the Spiritomb 108 Spirits stuff. We'll talk about that in a hot minute. Actually, no, we won't. We'll talk about this next thing in a hot minute. Field research task encounters include the Pikachu with the hat, Vulpix, Piplup, Froakie, Rowlet, all those with costumes, the newly released Morpeko, and Spiritomb. in the field research task encounters. We'll circle back to that because Kyle and I are both a little frustrated at one particular thing. Avatar items are the same as part 1. There's still the Lavender Town music. It'll still be spooky Halloween festivities looking like stuff on the map. And there will be showcases that are appropriate to Halloween Pokemon. So, all right. Part 2 is, let's just kind of boil it down. We're getting 2 brand new costume Pokemon, Froakie and Rowlet, and Gigantamax Gengar is being added. The bonuses and such are really similar to part 1, except for this one thing where there's an increased chance to hatch shiny Pokemon from eggs, which is great. And then the thing on Halloween to get Rare Candy or Rare Candy XL with nice throws or better. That's nice. But other than that, it is remarkably similar to part 1.
Different wild spawns, but yes.
Yeah.
Like fully, it's a full different pool except for a couple.
Okay. Oh, really? I thought it was much more similar than that.
No, like it is like the only thing that's the same is Zorua and Shuppet.
Okay. So what do you think about part 2?
1, I just want to say, I told you, Gigantamax Gengar.
You did call it.
Okay, it's Halloween. It makes sense, obviously. But like they just released Ghastly. Yeah. I'm never going to do this Gigantamax Gengar. We're going to find out how difficult they are, this week when we get to go to Mall of America and get to do them with everybody.
Yeah.
But it won't be a good judge because we're going to be in like one of the best places to play in the Midwest. So
yeah.
But your best choice to counter it's going to be a Gengar.
Yes.
And, Gengar is going to have a real bad time. It's going to have a real bad time if the other... So...
What am I supposed to use also from the pool of Pokemon that we have against this Gengar? Because it doesn't have a clear answer. You can bring the Metagross, right? I guess with the Psychic type attacks, but...
I mean, that's fine. That's actually not that great, though, because it's also weak to...
Shadow Ball.
To Shadow Ball and Shadow Claw.
Yeah.
But then again, it doesn't matter because like there's no dark types to readily bring. So your best choice is going to be bringing a Gengar, bringing a Ghastly that you've just caught from the max battles.
Oh, that's true.
And hope that that's good enough and you can survive. That's the big thing here is you don't get to re-lobby when you do this if you get knocked out like in a regular raid. So if you have glass cannons, it's not a big deal. So this might genuinely be more difficult to do with less people because of the pool of Pokemon we have to use right now.
So what you could do is I was just double checking. You could bring a Blastoise that knows Bite as its fast move.
Yeah, you could, but you're not getting Stab. You don't get any super effective from your charge move either.
Yeah, no,
and we've already talked about how difficult 3-stars are when you're only have the fast flying move right now against Phalanx.
Yes.
So like I don't think that's going to be a good choice unless you're rolling in with 20 plus people. So this is very frustrating because now you're in a scenario where you have to invest in something you probably really don't want to in order to do this.
Yeah,
for the 3-stars and even like maybe the starters, it's not as bad, I think. I don't know.
This is also coming after we are doing the Charizard, Venusaur, Blastoise Gigantamax raids. So who knows if like a Gigantamax Blastoise would fare better than a regular one with the with the fast move thing. But then again, it's not going to be pulling from the fast move for its G-Max move. It turns into a signature thing. So they'll be stronger though. So maybe it'll flatten that curve a bit.
I doubt it. For obviously until we know that. My thought is your best choice is going to be to bring the Gengars that we are currently getting from Max Battle Ghastlies.
You're probably right.
And it's very frustrating because you got to power those up. Especially because it's really squishy.
You certainly do.
So yeah, we're gonna move on. There's nothing to say here until we get to do regular max battles, 6-star max battles, I think, to really get a gauge for how painful it is. If we go into a max battle, a 6-star battle against a Charizard, and like all 3 of our Pokemon get KO'd, even though we have 10 people, that's going to be a huge problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have to see.
It will definitely take a level set, like you said, from this weekend to kind of get a handle on expectations around Gigantamax battles, for sure. There is one more thing to mention about this before we move on, and I hope you guys are ready for Kyle and I to talk about accessibility again just a little bit here. But while we are happy to see the return of Spiritomb to field research tasks, the task that Spiritomb is tied to is win 3 raids, which I'm gonna be a little controversial here. That's a big ask. That's
that
a lot.
is a garbage ask. Like, it is
a lot.
awful.
That's a lot.
To put it in perspective, the last time it was in tasks, it was catch 18 dark type or catch 18 ghost types. Like, you can feasibly do what 2 of these for free.
Yeah,
2 sets. So you can feasibly do 6 for free if you can find 6 tasks. Of course, we don't know how rare they are going to be. Really rare. Let's be real.
Yeah, but the absolute strategy is to fill up on 3 of these if you can in your town. Like if you're part of a Discord that is great about pointing them out or whatever, and then going and doing your free raids if you can.
3 raids for something somebody really wants to grind is a real like kick in the teeth.
Yeah, it definitely is. And this is their way of metering that, right? Of saying, hey, it's definitely in tasks, but it's not going to be so grindable that like everybody's going to have a shiny Spiritomb. Like, I'm sure they want to keep the chase because they want to keep bringing this Pokemon out for more and more Halloweens. But I don't know. It's just it's just such a huge monumental lift, man. 3 raids is a lot.
If it had been 1 raid, that'd have been cool.
That would have been fine.
Because then you could have, in theory, done, 20 of them.
Yeah,
like
if you could find them. Yeah, which is really kind of the limiting factor there. But what I really wish would be the case is that you could do either raids or Dynamax battles.
What if it was like win a raid or win a 3-star plus Dynamax or max battle?
That'd be fine.
Like
that'd be fine. Yeah,
that'd be cool. It's an ask. You can't just kind of roll over because you get, 8 free a day of the regular ones. It's 5 free a day or whatever it is. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very frustrating.
It is very frustrating.
And then before I move on from this though, I have to comment because I've seen people talk about it online. So it stands out to me.
Okay.
Part 2 of the event, Wild Spawns, has 2 ghost types spawning. 2. There's a Shuppet and there's a Phantump.
Pumpkaboo's not ghost?
Oh, I'm sorry. Pumpkaboo and Phantump. I'm sorry. There's 3.
Okay.
I've just read them in the same line and just put them together. Yeah. So that's very frustrating. The fact that like you couldn't even be like Gengar could spawn rarely. Driftblim could spawn rarely in the wild. You don't have to raid to get one potentially or something. It's very frustrating that now the time that's going to coincide with Halloween will have less ghosts spawning than we do currently.
Yeah. Also a notable missing Zubat. They got Woobat instead.
Yay. It's fair. That's frustrating.
Yeah, sorry, man. Sorry, Ghost buddy. That's okay. There's not a single bug in there, so I'm with you. But hey, that's Halloween part 2. It'll be interesting to get to do them, and depending on how the Gigantamax Gengars turn out to be, I think that'll kind of the success of the event will hinge greatly on that. So let's talk about our second and last piece of news here, the November content update. Let's start with Max Battles. In Max Battles, you'll see the 6 starters that we have seen so far. That'll be Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, Grookey, Scorbunny, and Sobble. Yes, there you go. If you wanted variety, that's too bad. Give the features some more time. You'll see more.
Yay.
And then introducing this new thing called Max Mondays, which on Mondays from 6 to 7 p.m. local time, I'm sure we'll have just power spots everywhere doing the Dynamax thing. And you can expect to see on these 3 dates, November 11th will feature Charmander. November 18th will feature Dynamax Drillbur, which is new. And then it's a shame that Drillbur is coming out after Gigantamax Gengar, so we get to use the ground type real badly. Gosh. Dynamax Bulbasaur will be on a Max Monday on November 25th, so that's interesting.
Just worth mentioning, this is really interesting, the Max Monday thing, because, well, Max battles currently last the full duration of a power spot right now.
Yep.
So will this refresh it? Will this be the whole, will everything that spawns Monday just be this? Will it take over? If I do a spot raid and then it ticks over to 6 p.m., can I do it again? Because you currently can't until, the whole cycle passes again. It's a very interesting thing that they're trying to translate raid hour into max hour. It's a system that does not translate 1-to-1, and they're translating it 1-to-1. So I don't know.
I guess we'll see how it goes. There really is, unfortunately, no way to speculate how it'll work. So we'll just have to wait and see. I guess catch us mid-November when we have an episode where it's Max Mondays. Are they a hit or not? It'll be interesting. Let's talk about 5-star raids for November. In 5-star raids, starting on November 4th, running through November 18th, is one of the best legendary Pokemon of all time, Lugia. That's fantastic, and it will have a featured attack. It's everybody's favorite. It's Aeroblast. Trainer battles. It's Aeroblast. Trainer battles. It does 180 power. It also does that in gyms and raids, but in trainer battles, it also has a chance to increase the user's attack because we love ramping on our Lugias. On November 18th through November 27th, you can get your hands on a Dialga origin form or a Palkia origin form. Those can be shiny. And on November 27th through December 3rd, there's four bosses. It's Zacian, Zamazenta, and then get this, folks, Regieleki or Regidrago. So if you did not participate in the Elite Raids before, this is a good chance to get out there and get your Regielekis and Regidragos. The problem is that the pool is diluted with 2 other Pokemon, Zacian and Zamazenta. Now, if you're in a place where you have gyms aplenty, probably won't be a problem finding one to do. But if you have minimal gyms, this is a problem. If you're a newer player, you're not used to this. But back in our day, it used to be pools of Pokemon all the time. And it was always kind of a bummer. Or you would hear horror stories of people being like, I have 2 gyms in my town, and the entire week I only saw X and Y, and I was looking for A and B, So, it is what it is.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah. 100%.
Because we just had Zacian and Zamazenta. We literally just had them. So they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
Here.
Do we think that's a bad thing or a good thing?
I mean, it's a bad thing because they're artificially making it more difficult to get Aleki and Drago for no reason. It's not like they're good Pokemon. They have this extra mental value because they were only in Elite Raids.
Yeah, that's very true.
Which again, that's not we're mentioning it. They were in Elite Raids. Now they're in regular raids, everybody. It happened. Yes. It did happen.
It did happen. Like everybody said it would. It was just a matter of when.
I like to think that the disaster of Mega Rayquaza made them rethink Elite Raids, but that's actually just cope. So and not,
they're going to try again.
Too.
Mark our words. They'll try it again. They absolutely will.
Yeah, I know. And I just am not thrilled. So
well, let's move on to greener pastures. Mega Raids. Mega Raids. November 4th through the 11th is Mega Manectric. November 11th through the 18th will be Mega Salamence. Mega Beedrill will be from the 18th through the 27th. Oh, also the 18th through the 27th is Mega Ampharos. And then November 27th through December 3rd is Mega Altaria, everybody's favorite dragon cloud. We love it. And then Shadow Raids, they're bringing back Suicune. Don't get it twisted. Ain't nothing new. It's Suicune. We love it. Maybe I'll get one done.
I'm going to bring us back because we moved on too fast and we forgot something just to point out.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about it. The Origin forms are going to be in raids for 10 days.
Yeah.
I thought it was just the weekend of the wild area.
No, it looks like
they're there for 10 days, and any of them caught can have their signature move. Has a chance at their signature move.
Between November 18th at 10 a.m. and November 24th at midnight. So yeah. they will also be in raids for a few days after that to the 27th, where they will not have a chance to know their adventure effect moves.
Yeah, so that's 7 days where they could have their adventure effect. That's huge. Like that's genuinely a huge deal.
Yeah,
so
it is.
Couldn't not mention that. If you didn't get them from Sinnoh Tour, now's the chance.
Absolutely. Let's move on to events here. November 2nd through the 3rd is a Go Battle weekend. The 7th through the 12th is the Harvest Festival, which is a cool thing. November 10th is November Community Day, which is, once again, we already know this, Mankey. November 15th through the yay! November 15th through the 17th is an event called Simply Groundbreaking. Whatever the hey that means. Probably has to do with ground types, if I mean hazard a guess.
Drillbur, probably. I don't know what they're doing with Drillbur, but
Drillbur is in everything, man. I see Drillbur everywhere.
I know,
man.
But he's gonna be in max battles on the 18th, so right after that ends.
You're right. How could we not love Drillbur? Look at the goofy smile, the big old hands, dude. Mm-hmm. November 18th through the 22nd is Into the Wild, which is, I think, probably the correlating event for. Oh, it's a lead up. It's a lead up to the wild area then, because the 23rd through the 24th is the wild area. Okay, gotcha. And then the 27th through December 1st is Max Out Finale. So we'll see what that entails when we get there. Yeah. Spotlight Hours. November 5th is Surskit with 2x Transfer Candy. Small Live on the 12th, 2x Evolution Experience. November 19th is Teddy Ursa with 2x Catch Stardust. That'll be a fun one. Oh, it's also shared with Combee on November 19th for 2x Catch Stardust. That's a cute combo.
Sure, but Combee has bonus Stardust.
It's fun. Yeah. I understand that they're diluting this pool a little bit too, but the bears with the honeybee thing is cute.
It is, but it better have some strong theming in the Into the Wild event too.
Oh, maybe. Something. What I really want to see is one Teddy Ursa for every 4 Combee.
Yeah, that said, also catching Combee is absolutely miserable. So like even with the bonus, this is rough. I would much rather be catching Shelder or Staryu or Shroomish or Trubbish. Combee is the worst Stardust Pokemon. Maybe Audino. Does Audino have a lower catch rate than Combee?
Maybe. It's difficult, more difficult than other Pokemon. But
those it's rough.
It is rough.
Good.
The last Spotlight Hour is on November 26th with 2x Catch Experience. It's Joltik. Get out there, get your shinies hunted on and all that good stuff. And then lastly, let's talk about raid hours, which is going to be familiar to what we had just said because we talked about 5-star raids. But during raid hours in November, trainers will receive 1 guaranteed rare candy XL when catching Pokemon from in-person 5-star raids. So there's an added incentive for their in-person stuff. November 6th and November 13th are both going to be Lugia. On the 19th, you'll see Nihilego. The 20th will be Tapu Koko. On the 21st will be Origin Form Dialga or Dialgo. November 22nd will Palkia. The 27th will be Zacian, Zamazenta, Regilucky, and Regidrago. Yeah,
might be the worst raid hour known to mankind right there.
Let's give Nihilego and Tapu Koko their own days, but let's shove Regilucky and Regidrago with Zamazenta and Zacian. What are
Nihilego and Tapu Koko even doing there? Like,
I don't. It's happening? Probably a wild area lead up thing that makes sense.
Ultra Beast and Tapu? I don't
Bro,
know. I don't know. That's
know.
Weird. Those are weird. but whatever.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm with you. I'm with you. It's a little strange. But there we are. That's it for November. We did it, folks. And that's actually it for the news. So we're gonna go into, I believe, Gear Up. Believe it or not.
This week on Gear Up, we're gonna do what's the big deal with Giratina. And I'm sure we've probably talked about this before, but the landscape of things change over time, including with our raid update, which, by the way, may or may not have been like sort of reverted. It's very confusing. They updated all of the files in the game to work on the half-second intervals that we talked about.
Yeah.
But they also adjusted the damage on how a lot of skills work to make them on par with what they were before.
Okay.
So I don't know how this has settled because it's been about a week and a half since I saw that. It's
if you're running a GBL site, you haven't been sleeping for a month, man. Like,
yeah, I'm just going off of game press calculations at the moment. So if they have not updated, then this will definitely be slightly off, but that's okay for now. But that said, I feel like a lot has changed since we last talked about Giratina Origin as a ghost type attacker, but it's still very good, specifically with Shadow Force, which is its signature move, which it does not have currently in raids right now, unfortunately. Without Shadow Force, it's surprisingly outpaced in a lot of areas. With Shadow Claw, Shadow Ball, it's roughly the same as Goldengo, Dragapult, and regular Chandelure, and slightly better than regular Gengar. This is talking about overall performance, by the way. If you only care about being bulky while you still do your damage, Giratina is the second best option you have right now. We'll get to the best one in a second if you don't know what it already is. I hope you do. We've talked about it a lot in the last 3 months, but
I need you to tell me.
Well, with Shadow Claw and Shadow Force, it's closer to the top being Blacephalon, who's actually pretty good in Go, but still loses to Shadow Gengar, the regular Ghost type Megas, and Shadow Chandelure. And of course, the one elephant in the room, Dawn Wings Necrozma. Because Dawn Wings Necrozma is so much better than Giratina. It's not even funny. It beats it across everything.
Oh my gosh.
So if you're already invested in one or two or three of those, I don't know, it depends on how you treated Necrozma, I suppose. Not everyone did several hundred of them, I understand. But are you going to do more Giratina raids? I should. But remote raids are expensive right now.
They are expensive, but I keep getting invites for Giratina right now. So
I've accepted a couple, but I can't. I try not to spend money on Go right now unless it's on research tickets and stuff like that for the most part. Yeah. I'll break that this weekend, I'm sure. But it's still worth noting that Giratina is still the best non-mega, non-shadow ghost type attacker in the game. But the gap between it and Blacephalon is pretty small. And even between it and Goldengo is not that crazy either, surprisingly.
Oh, okay.
So Goldengo's good. If you have good Goldengo, they can be worth investing in because the candy is obviously so readily available.
Yeah.
The evolution, not so much. But speaking of which, I have to do a transfer so that I can...
get your golden lure.
I'm going to have it on Saturday if I don't forget any days.
Oh my gosh.
I forgot until yesterday. And I was like, I'm supposed to be doing this. So I will remember to do that after the show.
I'm going to waking you up on Saturday and being like, hey, check your Switch. Make sure you get it done before we go to the mall.
yeah. I got to bring my Switch with me to do this. But so... it's definitely a lot harder nowadays to justify investing in a Giratina outside of if you really like it. Some things it does have going for it. Dragon type is really good. It helps you resist a lot of other common attacks, fire, water, electric, grass, all easy resistances you pick up when you have dragon typing. But all of this conversation is not even counting dark types, by the way, which fill the exact same role as ghost types. I don't even need to look to tell you that something like Brutal Swing, Hydreigon is probably just as good, if not better than Giratina.
Yeah.
As well as several other options. So there's a lot of choices now.
We love variety.
And talking about a lot of choices, Giratina is also a dragon, as I mentioned. That's all there is worth saying. It does not do well as a dragon type.
No.
It's worse than Haxorus with Breaking Swipe, which is not to put down Haxorus with Breaking Swipe. It's pretty good, but it's very accessible comparatively. So yeah, don't do it. Salamence, Dragonite, even without community moves, are better. So much more available dragon type attackers.
Yeah, you should really be building your Giratina for Ghost. Like there really is just no other option. Yeah. Cool. We love Giratina on this podcast, don't we?
Yes, I love Giratina.
We certainly do. Yeah, good Pokemon. All right, well, thank you very much, Mr. Sir. Hopefully you all caught a good Giratina and now know how to kit it out appropriately. We are going to take a very quick break here. When we come back, it'll be time for PokéPoll.
And we're back with last week's PokéPoll. And that was, what are your Halloween plans, Pokemon related or otherwise? First response from B via Spotify said, I'm in college, so I'm going to a party with my roommate. We'll be dressed as Mike and Sully during college.
Yeah.
Good costumes. Hopefully you got like full shag carpet you can put on for Sully.
Oh my gosh. Monster University was such a good film.
I didn't see it.
You would like it. You would love it.
I
you
probably
really
would. I didn't see it.
It's very good. Super worth it. Would recommend.
Next was from As the Pokeball Turns. They said, giving out Pokemon themed Halloween wristbands at Trunk or Treat.
Trunk or Treat.
All right. Sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
Next is from SC the ACAT. They said, planning on taking it as a chill day. Need to have chill days, especially since I'll be waiting for a response after my interview next Tuesday. Yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck. And chill days are where it's actually at. That's my preferred day.
Yeah. And if it's Halloween, it's likely going to be a chilly day.
Maybe. I don't know. The way it's going right now, it depends where you're at.
Yeah, it could be
80 degrees yesterday.
Maybe we'll get snow.
Let's not.
It could happen.
It's going to be 80 degrees next Tuesday.
It's going to be 80 degrees
next Tuesday, which is not Halloween, but it's as far as, that's the 10 day.
Next Thursday.
Or 7 days.
Yeah. Jeez.
Next response comes in the form of an email from Eric. They said, hi, guys. I don't have any specific Pokemon goals for Halloween other than to put my shiny Pancham as buddy that I got from the special research. So excited to catch those dark types so I can evolve it and use Pangoro in Great League for the first time. Maybe I'll also take the opportunity to look at my shiny Spiritomb that's been lying around in my deck since 2021. Sorry, Kyle. I just had to. Oh, my goodness.
Didn't I trade you one?
What?
A shiny Spiritomb?
No, I don't think you have a shiny Spiritomb.
I do. I have one.
You have one? Okay, well, no.
I got it from Sinnoh.
Oh, yeah, because you got it from the stops and stuff, and you tried to do... You got it from in-person Sinnoh.
Yes, in-person Sinnoh. That's right. Yeah, I thought... Yeah, because I was trying to get two. I was trying to do all of them so I could get two and give one to you because, otherwise it wasn't going to happen, and it still hasn't happened. Gosh darn it. So yeah, if you don't have one, then I only got one, I guess.
Yeah, no, I'm still trying to find the right person to trade me a shiny Spiritomb because it seems like me getting it myself is never happening.
Looking for Mr. Right to trade you the Spiritomb.
And I doubt, and almost nobody has extras. No one coming this week's going to have extras, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably not.
Back to the response, though. On a side note, in case anyone was wondering, no, you do not get a second Pikachu PhD when you win 200 showcases. I think I'm obsessed with showcases, but it's just so fun to win, and the rewards you get is a nice bonus. Mm-hmm. I have 500 plus XXL Pokemon saved, and also 250 XX small in case they start with that. Sorry for the long email, Eric.
Yeah, they've really got to get the extra small stuff going.
I don't understand why they don't. Like, it just, it makes no sense. Look, a lot of things Niantic does not make any sense to me. But this is one that seems like such a simple, straightforward thing. They released XXL and XX Small at the same time. But why have showcases only been XXL?
I couldn't tell you.
I don't understand.
I couldn't tell you. Nobody could. But thank you for that response, Eric. We got a voicemail response from Sarah Amanda. Here it is.
GOCast, Sarah Amanda here. So for the PokéPoll question, you know, I haven't thought that deeply about what I'm doing exactly for Halloween because it's like one big trip thing at a time. And right now I'm on like a week-long road trip thing going to Colorado, and then I'm going to go to Mall of America, and then I'm going to go back home, and that's going to be Halloween. So I'm not going to probably think about Halloween until I'm back at home. But Halloween's on a Thursday, and okay, first of all, our house isn't decorated or anything like that. If we're at home doing nothing, we give out candy. And I try to give out a lot of candy because I don't want to have any of it left over because Leon's trying to, like, my significant other is like, sugar, not good, trying to avoid it. So I'm like, can't have any candy left over then. Gosh, why do you buy the candy? Now I have to get rid of the candy. I don't know. It's a thing. So, anyway, that being said, Thursdays, that's when he usually does board game night. And so that's usually when I go to the arcade and play Dance Dance Revolution. So that might be what I end up just doing, just normal Thursday stuff. Or I do have a friend who his birthday is Halloween. So maybe we'll do something for his birthday. I don't know. Anyway, that's all. Peace. Sarah Amanda.
Can you imagine having your birthday on Halloween? That's so rad.
Double-edged sword, probably.
I feel that way about Christmas birthdays for sure.
Yeah,
but Halloween is like, it's not a gift holiday, so you're not going to lose out, you know?
Yeah. But like at the same time, it means you have to avoid or be careful where you plan like a party because everybody's already got plans on Halloween around Halloween.
Could you imagine if you're one of those people that hates Halloween and your birthday's on Halloween? Like you could
probably
never do
your birthday
anything.
being on Halloween probably led you to hate Halloween.
You're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right.
That said,
yeah.
Sounds like good plan, Sarah Amanda. Also, Sarah Amanda and Chris, have you seen the new monsters they just showed for Monster Hunter Wilds?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. That game is coming out soon, dude. It's open betas in like a couple
next weekend.
Yeah,
next weekend. But it's only like 3 days. But still,
we got to do it.
Sorry, that's all. Sarah Amanda will appreciate it. It's the Fire Rajang. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
It's pretty dope. He's the newest member of the DK crew.
It's all together. Well, actually, Bishatan is probably not going to be in this game, so they're not going to be all here. But
jeez,
I'm sure Rajang will be.
We're not allowed to do Monster Hunter Minute anymore because Sarah Amanda and Maxitron made that podcast, so it's been offloaded.
That's okay. They play more than we do, anyways. Right now,
it's just like PvP Corner, where it's like, oh, specialists came in, and thank goodness they did.
Yeah, we're too casual for that.
Yes, very true.
All right, for this week's PokéPoll, we have: what Pokemon do you think deserves a Gigantamax form that doesn't have one, and what would it be like? This will require just a little bit of research on your end if you don't know what already has a Gigantamax form.
Yes.
Oh man. See, I didn't read this ahead of time, so now I'm gonna have to go research while Chris talks.
Oh, okay. Oh geez, I didn't think about this really all that much either. I have a couple of fun ideas in my head. Like I would love to see a Gigantamax like Jinx or something like that, just really off the wall. But I'm going to say Gigantamax Parasect. I think that would be so cool where like it turns into like a pyramid, like a because it's already kind of pyramid shaped, but I want it to like truly look like a squared off like mushroom pyramid, where like I don't know, maybe its legs could. It just looks bigger, I guess. I don't know what to say. Like, I know that's kind of the idea already, but I want that mushroom part to be so ginormous in comparison to the small little bug underneath that's still there, that it's almost comical. And that'd be neat. I think that'd be really cool.
Oh man, I am gonna go with Shedinja.
Whoa.
First off, because it's super common. It doesn't make any sense. Like, Gigantamax would do nothing for Shedinja because HP stat, but whatever. But like, it would turn around and the crack in its back would be like, it would like be dangling down from a giant ghost of some kind that's coming out of the crack. So the Shedinja is like normal size, but the Gigantamax is the spirit of the Pokemon itself.
Okay.
That'd be really cool.
Kind of like Dark Shadow from My Hero a little bit.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you got to watch season 7. But
I do. You're right.
You don't want to get spoiled. You will be very disappointed in yourself if you
haven't
been spoiled yet.
Oh no. Okay.
I've already seen like screenshots floating around. I'm like, no, if Chris sees that, it's gonna ruin it.
I'll stay off of the weeb corner of Twitter and Reddit. I promise.
Okay.
Okay. Well, cool. I like that answer. That's a good one. If you, dear listener, have an answer to this week's PokéPoll question, which is, once again, what Pokemon do you think deserves a Gigantamax form that doesn't have one? And what would it be like? You can answer when we post that on X at GOCastPodcast.com. If you are listening to us on Spotify, you can reply/comment, I guess, to the episode with your answer. If you're watching on YouTube, hello, YouTube. Thank you for subscribing ahead of time. And you can leave a comment there. We pull from there. If you're a patron of ours in our patron Discord, as a result, we have a channel dedicated to this. You can post your answer there. You can also leave us a voicemail by calling 262-586-7717 or sending us an email to mail@gocastpodcast.com. And speaking of emails and voicemails, Mr. Kyle, where are we?
It's time for emails.
That's right. And a handful of voicemails. We got a few voicemails this week. Let's start with them. We got another one from Saramanda. So let's just, let's keep it back to back. Saramanda, let's go.
Hey, GoCast, it's Saramanda here. So my last voicemail with the power spots, it's one of those cases where I called in and the game, like, it'd been doing the same thing for well over a week or two, and then it changed. But, this was one of those changes where change was good. So it's good. So at the moment when I had sent in my voicemail, the power spots, they were all, like, every single one of them were doing a countdown until 9 p.m., which is not really useful. I mean, once you know that you can't fight them anymore after 9 p.m., not useful. You look around, you see like 5 of these on the map. It's like a doomsday countdown because it's showing hours, minutes, and seconds counting down to 9 p.m. But now, or rather, a day or two after I'd sent in the voicemail, and definitely by the time y'all were recording, now the power spots say 2 days, 1 day, or it is doing an hour's countdown. So you know that you have less than a day to do it.
That makes much more sense.
Great. This is one of those times where it's like, cool, it changed and now it's better. Mm-hmm. That being said, it still is the case where in Campfire you click on a Dynamax thing and it'll tell you like how long it's going to be there for. Just still nice if you're doing the whole like trying to hit one on your commute to work or from work or to the grocery store or whatever. It's just kind of nice. That's all. Peace. Saramanda.
That makes much more sense. Yeah, we were mighty confused because I guess neither of us paid attention quick enough to see it in its previous state. Or we're just like, was it always like this? But we're not early adopters like Saramanda is. So that's probably why we were confused. But thank you for clarifying. Thank you very much. Our next one is from Kevin Red Bull.
Chris and Kyle, it's Kevin Red Bull here. I am walking my dogs. It is 5:26 p.m. on Saturday. And I just wanted to, give a little reflection on how the Yamask event went. I thought it was pretty good. No complaints. It was a pretty standard Yamask research event. I got 6 shinies from the Yamask all together and then a random Chansey in the wild. You know how that goes.
Nice.
My buddy, his birthday was today, so we got him in the car. All 5 of us bought the $2 ticket. Everyone got at least 4 shinies or more.
Nice.
It was awesome. There was no complaints. Come on. Sorry, I'm walking my dogs because they've been waiting all day long. And we've been busy, living life, camping. So it has been pretty awesome. The weather is fantastic. I'm living in Michigan, so all the trees are fall coloring and everything's red and orange and yellow and beautiful.
Best time of the year out here, man.
Today was such a good day. Such a vibe. And being able to get the whole group out playing Pokemon together, it was great. No complaints, no problems. So hope y'all have a great day. Shiny vibes all. Kevin Red Bull out.
Awesome. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the weather in the Midwest in general was generally really, really good that day. But yeah, you just can't beat fall. And like a research day, it's like so chill. Like you can just do it at your own pace. There's no like rush on it really, because you're limited by how many stops you have. So like once you're out, you know. It's yeah, I identify with that.
Yeah, you gotta get it in now because in like 3 weeks it's gonna be too cold to play Pokemon Go.
That's right. That's right. Gotta put on them snow tires, you know. Our last last voicemail here is from a trainer named Doodles.
Hey, GOCast podcast people. A trainer named Doodles here, and I just want to hop in on this discussion about Walmart as gyms and Pokestops. I am one of the woe-begotten rural players, and right now, one of the most popular places where you'll see stops pop up is in our local Walmarts. Usually they associate with a local artist or a local high school and they paint a mural inside of the Walmart, and that usually gets turned into a Pokestop, and along with a variety of other things. So it is already like one of the main places where rural players can go and play, but because of the spawns. But there are already stops, and I'm excited to see just what it looks like when more stops get added. Anyway, keep up the good work, and sorry for the long voice message. Doodles out.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I hope that they were just added. I hope that they didn't like remove or move any other stops. I hope that they were just added on top of what was already there.
I'm going to expect that they are just added.
Yeah, because they're sponsored stops, right? They're not.
So here's the part that is definitely fuzzy, because obviously the whole rules on how stops can be placed and exist because of S2 cells and S17 cells for gyms, something like that. I don't know the exact details. Makes it difficult because they are sponsored stops, but will that override the regular stop rules? Because if that's the case, every single Starbucks also has a mural in it that you could, in theory, submit as a Pokestop.
So sponsor stops and stuff break the rules. They don't have to be.
But could I go to my Starbucks and submit the mural as a stop, even though the Starbucks itself is a stop?
Yeah, because you're not submitting it as a. Well, first of all, the stop that you submit would not count as a sponsored stop, right? That's a different category.
Would it be too close to appear in game?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. Maybe I'll ask. Maybe Sarah Madden knows. I'll send her a Discord after this.
Yeah,
she thinks. Yeah. But about the Walmart stops, literally right after we recorded last week, I drove past my local Walmart. The stops were already there. I sent Chris a picture. Got 2 stops and a gym directly inside the Walmart. Not on top of each other, but pretty close. So like, that's cool. It's cool.
Did you click on them and were they sponsored?
They are. They have the purple icon at the bottom base of the stop, and they all, when you click on them, just have a Walmart logo in the stop, not like a picture of the Walmart itself.
Wow, something happened the way that we expected it to. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right. Well, thank you very much for the voicemails, folks. We've got some emails here as well. We've got 2, in fact. I'm going to read the first one. The first one's from Ryan, and they said, "Hey, GoCast, it's Ryan. I have been busy in school lately. My AP language teacher is doing a project where we have to market a company's project, and I had an idea to market Pokemon Go. My question is, what would be a good event that I could make an advertisement for? Nope, this project ends in April or May. Thanks for listening. Bye, GoCast." So you got some time to really think about this then, if it ends in April or May. I would probably say, Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would do an event that you've been to. Now, I mean, I think that the shoot from the hip answer is GoFest or tour or something like that. But you could also keep it much simpler than that and do like a research day or a community day in like a downtown area or something like that. Like make up a faux meetup or something like that.
I think your best bet though is not to do a community day, because a community day is a little bit too small. I feel like if you've got till April or May for this project, you probably are going to have substantial like marketing that they're going to want you to do for the project. So I feel like even an event like this Halloween one, where it has 2 parts, could also be really good. But my gut reaction was definitely to do like a global Go Fest, even last year's global Go Fest. And that's, of course, the question is invent an event to advertise Pokemon Go to people, in which case that is a whole different conversation.
Yeah, that's true. And in that case, I would probably take a look at the more unique type of events that happen in Go, like Adventure Week, which has a specific thing that happens, and then try to model something else off of that.
Yeah, I liked the idea of Adventure Week in particular. If you're trying to advertise Go to people who don't play Go and who don't care necessarily about Pokemon, that's also really good because it's trying to focus on the get out and walk aspect, which will make it a lot easier to sell to, especially your teacher who, for all we know, doesn't even know how to pronounce Pokemon. So,
right.
We all know enough adults like that around us.
I certainly know enough adults. I'm done.
I can't really say that phrase anymore. I am an adult, huh? It
yeah,
doesn't
but
really work.
we know each other.
I don't know anybody around me that's an adult that doesn't actually know how to say Pokemon. That is pure lying, but
ignorance abounds. All right, we've got our last email here from Slip Slimely. Would you mind, Mr. Kyle?
Slip Slimely said, "Hi, Chris and Kyle. Slip Slimely here with a little email. My thoughts about the you got a little typo here. Big bad evil guy though. EBEG.
I think it's just big feature.
That if you typed BEG, BEEG, the B. No. Big bad evil guy feature. Dynamax/Gigantamax. Recently, we had announced that the Kanto starters and Gengar got teased for Halloween, and Toxtricity got announced for the wild area, would have a raid weekends coming in Go. Community feedback has been mixed as expected, but everyone seems to be generally more negative on it. This has made being actually very excited very rough.
Yeah.
I do see why some people are upset. I really do. I even share some of the gripes to a lesser extent. But as a game all about managing resources and using the main series as a way to look ahead, are we really saying that this is nothing but a net negative for the game? I've been 100% behind Kyle every week on this topic. It's a little funny that we've had all these Pokemon with Gmax forms release. One might even call it a rather specific coincidence. But it seems this was well thought out. If we get the base forms that can't Gmax, we can farm them for candy using the power spots and doing the battles. Then we can build some decent Pokemon. So when we inevitably go Gmax, we could take them down for even better versions that we can all go all in on investing, taking our Gmax Monster level 50 and the like. I'm sorry to be rambling here, but I'm generally excited for this content. Everyone else seems to just intent on being the opposite. This game is ultimately about the grind and the community, and I think so far the system does it beautifully. I'm incredibly interested to hear your thoughts. Knowing you guys, I'll likely have heard them earlier in the episode. Thank you so much for reading this, and I'm not sorry for the length of this. Passing on a Shiny-Max vibes to y'all. Have a good one.
Shiny-Max is great.
Shiny-Max. Yeah.
I like that.
Okay. Yeah. So thoughts. I don't think the introduction of Gigantamax is a net negative on the game. I definitely don't hold that opinion for sure. I've seen that opinion online. I don't believe that. I do think there's a lot positive. I think that the necessary route that they've gone is a bit frustrating. And I disagree a little bit on fundamentally with your argument here that releasing these Pokemon and then their Gigantamax forms is a positive route, because they could have released decent Pokemon that don't have Gigantamax forms that don't feel bad to invest in. Beldum is a great example, although a lesser one because it requires a community day move. So it's not the best example, but it's better overall. Upcoming Drillbur that we just read about for November is a great example. Drillbur is a very good ground type Pokemon. It has no signature moves. It has nothing that's keeping you from powering it up right now and using it. And that's great. But you got to admit that using farming for a good Dynamax Charizard using, 250 candy to power it up, only to then need to use 250 more candy for a Gigantamax Charizard. And then that Dynamax Charizard goes in the garbage because it's literally useless. Not literally, because you will want 6 Gigantamax Pokemon in theory, I suppose. But it is a bad investment. And you're only doing it because you don't have a choice. It's like, I think we mentioned it last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago. Back when raids first started and you powered up what you had. That wasn't as bad because you didn't have many choices. You didn't know what you were missing. I know a couple of people personally who had some level 40 Jinx back in the day because it was the best ice type attacker.
I was that guy.
Yeah. And
for like the month or two that it was relevant, by the time I got around to doing it. Yeah. Ice Punch.
Yeah. And then you know what? They transferred those Jinx. Those Jinx are gone from inventory.
I don't even consider Jinx outside of like fun references like that Gigantamax question we had earlier.
Yeah. And I think that the key difference here is we know what we're missing by this feature existing so late in the game's life. And you could have put another fire type in max battles, like, I don't know, like Darmanitan. You could have put Darmanitan in max battles. And obviously, it doesn't have the same draw as a Kanto starter. I understand that. So I see where the compromise has to happen eventually. But that's why I'm kind of negative on the route that they've taken.
I mean, I agree. I agree on almost all points. I mean, I do think that we weren't going to get away from them introducing the feature using Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle. And I think that everybody understands that and agrees that from a marketing perspective and even like an in-game perspective, like they're good Pokemon too. Is it a shame that Gigantamax was released later and those Pokemon are Gigantamaxable? Absolutely. But then we got the Galar starters, which was the same thing. And that felt redundant. And then it felt purposeful, even though we were just getting Galar introduced. Like, that makes sense too. I get the argument, but it is just too much. And then introducing Gigantamax so soon after Dynamax came out amplifies that negative feeling of the hamster wheel running, you know?
And of course they introduced Dynamax Ghastly only to literally 1 week later release Gigantamax Gengar. Like, what was the point? You get a pass for doing it once because like it's going to have to happen once because of the way that the feature exists in the game. Sure.
But
now it's very clear they're going to do it 3 more times because we're going to get the Galar starters eventually. I'm sure we will see Gigantamax Toxtricity at the wild area or shortly after for global. And that just feels bad.
Yeah, I mean, but that being said, I mean, acknowledging the fact that it is set up to be a grind makes a lot of sense. It is end game. It is quarantined. It doesn't affect other subsystems. So I definitely disagree with the net negative take. You know, I haven't seen it as a net negative take online. I've seen people say negative things about it, but kind of like Kyle and I are saying, like, here's a realistic understanding of what this is from a game field perspective and from optics, like from a marketing perspective, but also like, we're excited. Like, we are excited to do these Gigantamax raids this weekend, despite all the reasons for us to point a finger at it and going, this probably could have rolled out a bit better and people would have been happier. I mean, you can kind of say that about anything, but I think this feature in particular was rolled out in a way that was a little, I don't know, it felt a little bit too pointed in the whole haha, na boo boo, like, you're going to have to do this again thing, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And that said, this is judgment that I have to wait until after this weekend to fully back. My bigger issue with Gigantamax is that they are 6-star difficulty. Yeah, that's it. That was a full sentence. I don't know why I said it like that, but that's.
I can't save that one without a new man. That's just gonna live like that.
That's okay. It works just fine. Everybody can appreciate that. And it all will hinge on how difficult they actually are.
Yeah.
I know personally, I will not get to do any Gigantamax Gengar because I'm not going to be near anybody else that I know who plays during those 4 days that it's going to exist. Yeah. Like, Come on.
It might be time to break out the campfire, dude.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just go to Woodfield Mall and see if I get lucky and people show up there.
Give Saturday. It a try. Give it a try. All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for the emails, folks. Appreciate it. If you want to send in an email or a voicemail, just like these fine folks did, the emails can be sent to mail@gocastpodcast.com. The voicemails can be sent in by calling 262-586-7717 or emailing me a voice file. That's cool too. Visit our website for all things GoCast at gocastpodcast.com. Follow us on X at GoCast Podcast, also on Threads, the same handle. If you'd like to help support the show, you can via Patreon. That's patreon.com/GoCast Podcast, whereas a little as $1 a month gets you access to our Patreon Discord, which is like the best. I don't feel bad saying that. Speaking of patrons, shout out to our elite trainer tier patrons. Big thank you to Bo, Daniel, Lori, Michael, Ozzy, Arkham, Marvin, Mimi, Sforza, Rasui, and Ryan, Thayer, Jason, Justin, Charles, Modders, Lee, William, Brandon, Ethan, Steven, Nick, our favorite listener, Jutu, Camo, The Ugly Rock, Jacob, Victoria, Sarah, Remember Randoms, Nabil, Tish, Jacob, Matthew, Don, John, Paul, and Micah. Thank you so very, very much for your generous support and helping us keep the digital lights on, among other things. Okay, we got to set some goals, and this is going to be, hey, leave a review, please. That also helps out a lot. All right, great. Let's set some goals. We have the Gigantamax thing going on and the Halloween research and all that good stuff. So, you were already off to the races. Look at you go.
And also our meetup. So
yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. The meetup.
Like we're going to be playing, but this is all absolute ridiculous, but
all right. I'm all set.
I am too. Only one of these is going to be completed.
Okay. All right, Kyle, why don't you go first?
All right. One shiny Spiritomb. Maybe I'll get lucky. I can't do it. Can't not set it as a goal. I'm not going to be grinding before we go. So it's just going to be entirely those 2.5 days.
Okay.
One any other shiny. That one might just happen anyways.
One any other shiny. I love that.
Yeah. I plussed a shiny while I was out for Yamask Day as well. I was like, oh, okay.
I got a Kricketot today on the plus. We love it.
What did I get? Oh, I got a Galarian Zigzagoon.
Nice. Lil Ziggy.
Yeah. 1 million experience and the 3 new Gigantamax Pokemon.
All right. Those are good goals. Myself, I also want to get all 3 of the new Gigantamax Pokemon. I want to hatch 100 eggs because we'll be doing some walking around the mall this weekend. And then 500,000 Stardust because I need to refill. I've been spending quite a bit after I, allowed myself to start doing that. So it's time to replenish. All right. So thank you so much, dear listener, for listening all the way through. We'll see you next week post meetup for episode 306. Until then, good luck this weekend with Gigantamax Pokemon, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.